Okay, now let's insert a camera into this view. But I don't want to do it in the current view 2 because I want to leave that as it is. So what I'm going to do instead is open up another view, in this case view number 5, which I've not used yet. Let's maximize that, there we go, then turn it back into an isometric. I'm going to place the camera in this view. Now I'm going to need my little construction lines here again to locate the camera, but as always you don't have to do that. We have the same problem, of course, that all the other items are in the way, particularly the roof and the walls, and now in fact this second floor. So I've taken the liberty of putting the second floor on a level called second floor, in addition to the regular floor. So I'm going to turn those levels off so I can get at it. So this time I'm going to right click on the roof itself, and this time select level off. Turns the roof off. Do the same thing with the walls, level off, and the same thing with the floor, level off. So now I have a fairly naked drawing. We'll zoom in. I have construction on at the moment. I've changed back to my regular red, which I've been using for the construction lines for the cameras. We need the line tool running. And I'm going to start in the corner here. Let's rotate so I can get at this thing without too much of a problem. So my line tool is going to go from there. And we're going to come out in this direction. We can change this again, about 16 feet or about 4,800 millimeters if you're counting that way. I've got to go to my polar compass first though, and 16. Let's change that and change the compass and put this at about 5 foot high, or about 1,500 millimeters. So 5 foot for that, and more data point, and stop. Okay, now we can place a camera. So off we go to the camera tools. We want to set up camera. So click in the view. Let's change the lens to wide. We'll zoom in a little bit. There's my camera location. I'm going to use a nearest snap and pick somewhere around about 4 foot or so on the pole here. There we go. Zoom back a little bit. And there we have our camera view of this interior room. Let's put everything back. Turn the roof back on. Second floor can go back on, and the walls can go back on. I can turn off constructions. Don't want to see that red line. And if I want now, I can start to change things a little bit. In fact, let's just do that. Let's go to camera again. This time we will pick define camera. And let's select the pan and dolly. Put a data point in the view and gently drag this around. And now we can move around this view. We're actually moving the camera in the view. And I want to sort of concentrate on my 3 objects here. Let's have a little bit of a slightly side issue here like that, for example. I think I want to go up a little bit too. So let's do pan vertical. That will do fine. And let's try and render. So let's put a reasonable sized fence in there. Start Luxology. On draft it shouldn't take too long. Now it's a horrible picture because it's draft, but it does show you how things are located. My table is just off the wall as it should be, as is the bookcase. Let's brighten things a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. Now you see the effect of the translucent bowl of the standard light. We see light splashing everywhere, and we see the effects of the point light inside the shade. Nothing much is coming out sideways because the shade is not translucent, but we see light coming downwards and splashing across the walls and the ceilings. We see shadows as they should be. Everything looks pretty good. Now as we start to develop this, we'll start to use better and better rendering, and the whole thing will start to take shape. Next thing to do is to add materials to the floor and the walls and the ceiling, and we'll do that in the next video. But before we sign off on this one, I'd like to keep this camera in position. And the only way I can do that is to make a saved view of the camera display right now. So, saved view. We're going to create a view. Let's give it a name. Let's call this interior. And let's give it a number, interior 1. And we data point in the view, and we have our saved view. Now I can return to this anytime I want to.